Morning, dear student. Today, the continuation of research design, the types of research design. First one is exploratory research design. The name itself tells that it is a exploratory research. So, means you are going to explore more and more relating to your research topic. You will be getting a more insight. You will be getting a more familiarized with a selected topic, problem, or issue, or any other questions where you are selected as a research question. So the previous research done, but it is very much unclear. They are not given a clear answer or clear solution for a particular concept or particular problem. So you are going to do a in-depth research, and you are going to familiarize yourself about a problem or about a concept to be studied by you. That is called as a exploratory research, and it is a initial research. Okay, and more conclusive research were not undertaken. So it is just you are starting your research process, and the first step you are starting a research process. No, you will be not knowing what exactly and where exactly and how exactly we need to do. So the initial stage of a research is called as a exploratory. You start exploring the things, how to do, when to do, where to do, how to do. Everything is going to be explored. That is called as a exploratory research. This is the initial research, and it is going to determine the best research design, the data collection method, selection of the subject, and the selection of the objective. Everything is going to be helped through exploratory research only, because you are going to do more and more investigation and examine of a thing, existing thing, and basically it is a secondary and the qualitative research. Okay, so you are going to get a more insight about your concerned topic and the concerned concept, and you will be very much specifically understanding what are the objectives of my study, and how my research design should be, and how I need to collect the data. Everything is going to be getting clarity by doing a exploratory research. Another common reason for conducting a research is to test the concepts. Okay, so to test the concept before you are going to do actually the research process. The initial research you are going to conduct, you are going to test the concept, whether I am going to get a actual data, how the data are going to be collected, and how it would be analyzed. Everything you are going to understand, and then only you are going to do a actual research process, applying a different methods of research. Okay, so this is exploratory research is going to be conduct for an initial stage in order to get in-depth knowledge, in order to get more insight about a concerned problem or concerned concept where you want to decided to do the study. That is called as a exploratory research. Otherwise it is called as a in a simple word, it is called as a initial research before going into the market place. So the continuation of this research design, exploratory research design, here I have mentioned some highlighted points that it can be quite informal, relying on secondary data, and it is an informal discussion with the customers or a employee, or more formal approaches through depth interview, projective method, case study. Okay, so these are all the initial research you are going to do. It is not more in a formal way, it may be a informal way, how we are going to casually talk with the customers, casually talking with the employees. You are not having any plans or to conduct a interview or to do a survey and all. You just go getting an idea by talking casually with the respective employees or respective customers, and you are going to review the available literatures, either it may be a journal or an article or published or unpublished article, the documentation, the records, what you are going to be check, and it is available in a respective sources. So formally you are going to do in-depth interviews, projective methods. All the interview methods and the projective methods I'm going to discuss in this class only. So basically you are going to do informal approaches of research to collect a basic information either related to your topic or related to your research problem. Okay, and one of the nature of exploratory research is provides a qualitative data rather quantitative data. So qualitative data having its own difficulty to draw a conclusion or to draw an inferences for the study, that we discuss later. But exploratory research basically going to be provide us a qualitative data. Next is exploratory research objectives. What are the objectives? So after understanding its meaning, it is very much clear that it is going to diagnose a situation. You are selected a problem, you have selected a concept to be studied, but after making a exploratory research, you are going to diagnose the situation. You are going to do more and more investigation in order to get more and more insight, knowledge, familiarity with the selected topic or selected problem. And next one is the exploratory research is also having an objective screening the alternatives, the best alternatives. So when you are going to have more and more information and investigation and all, you will be having alternatives, and that alternatives will be more, and which one to choose and which one to leave. So you will be having a confusion. So in order to get a best alternative or the better alternative, the research is the exploratory research is going to help you, because this research is going to help you to familiarize with the concept by doing a many literature survey and many interview, many informal discussion with the customers and the employees, and also that may give more insight to select best alternatives. Okay, so, and discover new ideas. So when you are going to have more and more information relating to your concept or relating to your problem, new ideas may generate for you. You can do a better research concentrating on a better problem where you can give a better solution. And development of a hypothesis, so it help you to build or set a tentative assumption of your research by doing a exploratory research, and gain familiarity by doing more and more investigation and examination relating to your topic and relating to your research problem. It is going to give a complete insight about a topic decided by you to do the research, and you will be very much familiar to draft a research design, how to conduct a research, the collection of data, drawing analysis using a statistical tool, finding, suggestion, and others. And next one is to identify the boundaries of the research. Boundaries in the sense the limitation of the research. What is the cost involved, what is the time duration, where my populations are, overall my sample size, whether sample size are available, they are understanding a concept, or they are in a position of understanding what exactly the research problem is, and what are the tools I need to be used for collecting a data from this sample size. Everything is going to be decided, the boundaries of a particular research by doing a exploratory research. Means the limitation, within this particular limitations only I have to do the research. That clarity is going to be provided by exploratory research. Next we look at advantages and disadvantages of exploratory research. It is having its own limitations and the merits. First one is the main objective is exploratory research is to improve research knowledge about the topic, because without having a basic knowledge and without having a basic information, you cannot go ahead to do a research process. So without knowing anything, if you took up any research process in the on the way of doing your research process, you will be having some confusion, you may deviate. So in order to avoid all this biases and in order to avoid all this risk, basically you conduct exploratory research, understand the concept well, gain some knowledge about that particular concept, and start doing a research in a marketplace. That is going to be provided by the exploratory research. And you need to have before you need to conduct exploratory research before going into the marketplace, to do your actual research, before going to do your actual research. Next one is flexibility of the data sources. So flexibility, the sources of availability of data is so easy. It may be available in library, it may be available in on site, it will be available in a website, the e-journal, e-articles, some documents, some records available in a companies, available in an institution, discussion with the employees, discussion with the customers. These are all very much flexible. You can go and do your data collection for a initial stage, and that is more flexible in a exploratory research. And the purpose of this research is to know about unknown. So the basic purpose of the research is that knowing the unknown thing. So exploratory research is going to give a strength for a researcher, knowing a more unknown thing about a selected topic and the selected study. Okay, so the the cost of the project, and how significantly increasing the effectiveness of the findings of the research, everything is going to be decided in a exploratory research. So these are all some advantages you can see in a exploratory research. Some of the disadvantages of this type is it is going to be provided only qualitative data but not quantitative data. So that is one of the major drawback of exploratory research, and it is the findings are more judgmental. It is like this only. Okay, so very judgmental, you are judging the aspects. So that is the major drawback of your exploratory research. And next one is finding determined by the qualitative research could be susceptible significant interpreter bias. So it may be having some bias while drafting findings in your research process. It may having some biases. Why? Because it is going to give only the qualitative data but not the quantitative data. So depending upon only the qualitative data, whatever the findings you are drafting on your research report, it may be consisting of some bias. So that is one of the drawback. And conclusion from the focus group interview could be unclear. So whatever the conclusion given by the focus group people, that may be very much unclear, very much vaguely they are going to tell, very much informally they are going to talk about concepts and the problem. So that may lead for drawing a conclusion without clarity. So these are some of the advantages and disadvantages of exploratory research. And next is methods of exploratory research. We are having a various types actually in exploratory research. Don't get confusions. We are talking about the research design type. In that, first one is exploratory research. After understanding what is exploratory research, we are understanding the methods of exploratory research. Under that, we are having literature survey, case study, experience survey, and qualitative research. One by one we'll take up now. First one is what is literature search. So literature search is very much less costly and quickly available, and it is going to help in discovering the hypothesis, in discovering a hypothesis or setting a hypothesis. So most of the literature reviews are going to be available, the informations are going to be available in library, online sources, commercial database. Okay, so these are the sources of information where you can really do the literature search in order to get more knowledge, more insight about selected research concept or selected research problem. So most advantages of doing your literature review means you are going to read the existing reports, existing books about your research problem and the concept. So what is the advantages, or what are the advantages by doing a literature search? So it is going to be advantages in assessment of the current state of research topic. What is a current status of the research topic? By doing more literature survey, you will be coming to know what are the methods they used, what are the topic they discussed, what is the problem they highlighted. Everything you will be coming to know, and it is going to help the researcher to know the current status of your research topic, and it is going to identification of experts in a particular topic and a area. So overall, provided if they are provided a focus group interview, and if they are done with the brainstorming and all, you will be coming to know that overall the experts give their own opinion and give their own suggestion towards a particular topic, and you will be coming to know that some are the experts are there, and you may take their experts help also. And next one is you can identify a research gap also. So what is exactly the research gap? You will be coming to know that in doing literature survey, because in many article, many journals, all the researchers and all people doing a research, they'll be using a different tools and different population, different sample size and everything. And you will be coming to know that the current status of your research topic, and what is the research gap, and how I can fill this research gap. So you will be getting a clarity while setting up of your research gap by doing a literature search. So these are all the major advantages of the literature search. And next method is case analysis. So case analysis you people are very much familiar with. So MBA, you are having a compulsory case study for 15 marks now. So what you understood by the case study? It is a case, a live case of a particular company, and how you are going to get resolve it. We are not having a standard solution, we are not having a standard dimension for viewing that particular case study. So if you are given for 30 members to review the case and to bring the outcome, all 30 members may give a different review and different dimension and different output for that particular case study. So it is how the case study is going to be deal with, and we are not having a standard solution for the case studies. Actually, it is going to analyze a selected case, some things gives an insight about the problem which is being researched. Okay, sometimes only that's all. It is going to provide some insight to the researcher, and this case analysis insight may not be generalized to your research topic. You may just pick up some ideas and some insight, what tools they have used and how they solve the cases. So that methodology may adopted, but outcome may not be suitable for your research topic and the research study. Fine. So that is a case analysis regarding selecting a case of a particular company or particular organization, and you start analyzing a cases. So that is a case study. We are having major advantages and disadvantages of using the case studies here. First one, good sources of idea about behavior and innovation steady rare situation, large samples, it is suitable for where large sample of similar participation are not available. Scientific experiment cannot be conducted. Really, when scientific experiment cannot be conducted for your research topic, then you can adopt a case study analysis, and degree of openness is more, because everybody are given a equal chance to analyze the case, and they are welcome to give their own opinion, discussion and suggestion, and it provide ground for learning, provide proof for further researchers also. So they are going to give some hints if this is the case, and how it is going to be adopted for the similar case also. So that is other advantages of the case analysis. Coming to the disadvantages, data may be unique to the given situation only. So the case is going to be pertaining to only that particular company, and for that particular product, and that particular duration of the time. It is not going to be generalized for any other common situation. And next one is, data cannot collected cannot necessarily be generalized, because it is having its own limitation of a particular institution, particular problem and particular concept at all. It cannot be generalized to a general population, and it is very hard to draw definite cause and effect conclusions also. Which is dependent variable, which is independent variable, what is the cause relationship, what is the effective relationship, it is quite difficult to find out in a case analysis. And it is not a scientific method. Case studies are not scientific method. We are not going to apply any scientific methods here. We are going to do only a brainstorming session, experts opinion method, and we are going to view the case studies in a different way, and then we are going to take a clarity and draw a conclusion. So we are not going to do or apply any scientific methods here, and it is not generally predictive. You cannot predict the future based on this particular case study. Why? Because as I told you, case studies are related to only one particular institution, or one particular company, or one particular situation only. So based on this, you cannot predict a future. Okay, so that is another disadvantages. Conclusive draw is highly subjective. Okay, conclusion is are going to be drawn on your personal feelings. As I told you, the case studies are given to 30 people, and how they are going to review it, and what is the conclusion they are going to draw. You'll be having a 30 different answers. So here the conclusions are going to be based on an individual opinion and individual feelings. It is not judgmental as what we have in a exploratory research. And next one is, there may be a case selection bias also. By the researcher, there may be a case selection bias also. He may be choosy in selecting the cases, so which is very much easy to determine, which is very much relevant to his topic. That cases may going to be chosen by a researcher, and he may draw a wrong conclusion in major researcher also. So the case study analysis having some bias towards to the researcher, because he is having a chance of making a choice of cases where you want to do or conduct a study. So these are all major advantages and disadvantages of exploratory case analysis method. Next one is experience survey. Experience survey means expert opinion survey also we are going to call this. It involves discussion with knowledgeable individual both inside and outside the organization, who may provide insight to the problem. It is not always inside the organization. It may be employees, suppliers, suppliers, or the board of directors, not only those people, outside organization also. So you can go, you can contact the experts of the particular topic or particular phenomena, ask their opinion, ask their suggestion, and conduct some interview, have some brainstorming session. Everything is going to be done under experience survey. You are going to collect the insight, opinion, and more suggestion from the experts who are all relating to your research topic and a research problem. That is called as a experience survey. And the next one is projective techniques. Projective technique is mainly unstructured and indirect form of questioning the respondents. We are not directly asking what is your problem, okay. We are going to ask the problem of or we are going to collect the data indirectly from the customer. They will be not aware about what exactly we are asking and what they are answering. Either they'll not be knowing about a conduction of research itself. So indirectly we will be asking question and indirectly we will be collecting a data. And this allows the customers or the respondent to express their inner feelings, emotion, attitudes about a related topic or related problem. So they'll not be knowing that we are conducting a research and we are collecting a data. They are having a freedom of sharing their feelings and emotion and attitudes towards a particular concept. So that is the major advantages of the projective technique here. When there is no bias, if you are knowing that they are collecting a data, the manipulation of information may happen. So but in a projective technique you are not going to tell anything about what exactly you are conducting, but indirectly you are collecting a data. So we are having many methods in a projective technique, that is word association test. Word association test in the sense, take example of what is that, Amul butter, okay, Amul butter. So if I tell butter, and we'll be having a group of respondents there, okay. You, as soon as you ask, you need to instruct them, you need to answer what comes to your mind, okay. So that is the type of gamification actually. So if you tell a butter, customer may remember Amul, okay. So indirectly the brand is remembering here, the Amul brand is remembering here. For some other customer it may be some other brand also. So if that particular customer, chosen customers, is talking about if the butter means Amul, it is going to be indirectly remembering a brand of Amul. So that is a word association test. If I tell a word of green, somebody may quote example of Lal Bagh, okay. Somebody may quote example of Lal Bagh. If I tell what you remember as soon as I ask the word green, somebody tells Lal Bagh. It may, somebody tells a nature, somebody may tell a forest. That is called as a word association test. How we are going to relate the word. And when you are talking about hot coffee, you may thinking about, it may be a brew, it may be your filter coffee, it may be your filter coffee or any other brand, okay. So when you are telling hot coffee, people are remembering brew and people are remembering a filter coffee. So that is called as a word association test. So next one is sentence completion test. Sentence completion test. There is no right and correct answers here for any test or any technique they are using here. There is no right or wrong answer. We are just examining and evaluating what are the feelings and what are the emotions and attitudes of the respondents or the customers. Sentence completion means, take example now, I am not going out today, dash. The dash may be filled up because of coronavirus outside, correct, you know. So that is sentence completion test. Today I am going to have my lunch with my dash. It may be a friend, it may be a husband, it may be a wife, it may be a children, whatever, they are going to give answers. And again, today I am going to take up my second semester unit test because dash. Why? Because I am studied well. Some people, students may tell that I studied well. Some people tells that it is a matter of internal assessment marks. Some people tells that just because of a time pass, and some people may tell that how to check how the faculties have framed the question for our online test. Anything, it may be up to you. So that is called as a sentence completion test. Next one is story completion test. You will be telling 75% of the story, and 25% of the story you are going to leave it, and you ask your customer and respondent to conclude by adding another 25% of the story. Take example now. From morning I was very busy taking classes, attending a meeting, framing a question papers for the students, or taking up their online test. As soon as I remember the time, it was 5 o'clock, and then I realized I have not taken my breakfast, I have not taken my lunch. Let me have some coffee along with a Maggie at 5 o'clock now, after completion of the work. Immediately after preparing a Maggie and the coffee, as soon as I prepared myself to sit to have a coffee and the Maggie, the doorbell knocks. The doorbell knocks or drinks. Okay, so you need to complete that story. So you may tell that I opened the door, some guests arrived, I shared the coffee and the Maggie with them also. You can tell like that. Otherwise you will be telling that as soon as the door knocks, the vegetable delivery boy has come, something like that. The 25% of the story is going to be concluded by the respondent. So then it is going to help that what is their attitude, emotions and the feelings. And the next one is thematic appreciation test actually. So it is just like your story completion test only. Thematic appreciation test in the sense, all, take example, a group of customer and a group of respondents will be there. You will be projecting a number of pictures there, 10 or it may be 20 number of pictures continuously, and you ask the customer, it is going to be a flash, that's all, a flash pictures. After showing that, you ask the customers what are all you remembered out of these pictures. So thus people are going to tell about that particular 20 pictures if they remembered well. So this shows what is their attitude, emotions and the feelings of the customers, if they remember something and if they are not remembering something. That is thematic appreciation test. Next one is cartoon test or balloon test. You may check in newspapers, they will be having some cartoons, so two cartoons will be there. One will be the boy cartoon and one will be the girl cartoon. They were talking and the words are coming in a different shapes here. Okay, so I had coffee, one person will tell and another person will be a blank. Okay, it may be filled with I had water, I had juice. Okay, this particular column need to be filled by the respondent. One will be filled one, another one will be empty. That need to be filled by a customer in order to evaluate their feeling, emotions and the attitude. That is called as a cartoon test. And the next concept is what is that? Role playing techniques. So role playing techniques, you people are very much familiar. We'll be giving some roles and we'll tell the customers or the respondent to execute that role. How exactly is going to observe the situation and handle the situation. Take example that you are given a role that you want to you sold a vegetable, not vegetable, take example of the apple. You are sold the apple and you are pasted a notice that goods once sold cannot be taken back. So after taking the apple, the customer saw at home that one apple was rotted. So she took that and she came to you and asking to replace the apple, and you are showing that board, ma'am, we displayed goods once sold cannot be taken back. So on the basis of that, uh, actually suppose not to take back a particular goods. But if I give this situation to you, how you are going to solve this? So one person may tell that in order to losing a customer, he may replace the apple, and by giving some concession of the purchase of apple, he may give us some more extra apple. So whatever the conclusion you are taking, that is going to describe the role of you, what is the emotion in that, what is the feeling in that particular role. Okay, so next one is in-depth interview. In-depth interview will be continuing in the next class, in depth only. Okay, so these are all the types of exploratory, comes under the exploratory research. Today we discussed types of research design, that is exploratory research design, advantages, disadvantages, and what are the types of exploratory research. Okay, so any doubts, always you people are welcome, and you can drop me a message in a group. Those topic I would continue or repeat once more in a online classes, arranging some Zoom app classes, or I may record once more and can drop in a group. Thank you all.